Apple owns Beats. You already knew that. But when you look at the Powerbeats Pro 2 and the AirPods 4 side by side, it feels like two completely different companies engineered them. They did not share notes. They did not compromise. Instead, they built two distinct tools for two entirely different types of people. You are essentially looking at the same brain wrapped in two different bodies, as both of these earbuds run on Apple's H2 chip. But that is where the similarities end. You are not choosing between good and bad. You're choosing a philosophy. Are you someone who needs your tech to disappear into the background while you sit at a desk or walk to the coffee shop? Or are you someone who demands gear that stays locked in place while you sprint up a hill in the rain? Let me explain how these two audio devices approach the exact same problems with completely opposite strategies. Design and fit. Here is what matters right out of the gate. The way an earbud fits dictates your entire relationship with it. The Powerbeats Pro 2 use an aggressively secure approach. They feature an in-ear design with 5 different silicone tip sizes and a flexible titanium ear hook that wraps firmly around the outside of your ear. You do not just place these in your ears. You install them. Once they're locked in, they are not moving. You could do backflips, run a marathon, or hang upside down, and they will stay exactly where you put them. The downside is that you are always aware you're wearing them. The hooks and the pressure of the silicone seal are a constant physical presence. The AirPods 4 take the exact opposite approach. They feature an unsealed, open ear design. There are no silicone tips to jam into your ear canal, and certainly no hooks. They just rest gently in the bowl of your ear. The comfort level is absurdly high because it feels like you are wearing nothing at all. You can pop them in and out with a flick of your wrist. But that comfort comes at a severe cost to stability. If you take a heavy step, chew your food too aggressively, or take off a sweater, an AirPod might just pop out and roll under a couch. They are designed for a calm, predictable environment. Audio and noise control. If you care about how your music actually sounds, you have to understand the physics of isolation. The Powerbeats Pro 2 win the audio category for one simple reason. They have a physical seal. Because the silicone tips plug your ear canal, they naturally block out the world before you even turn on the electronics. When you do turn on the active noise canceling, the H2 chip works alongside that physical barrier to create a vacuum of silence. This means the bass hits harder, the vocals sound richer, and you do not have to crank the volume to dangerous levels just to hear your podcast over the sound of treadmill. The AirPods 4 try to defy physics. They do not have a silicone seal, meaning the outside world is constantly leaking into your ear. To combat this, the active noise canceling model uses computational audio to brute force the silence. The H2 chip analyzes the noise around you thousands of times per second and pumps anti-noise into your ear to cancel it out. It is a brilliant magic trick. It works incredibly well for low-frequency hums like airplane engines or office air conditioners. But it cannot completely block out sharp, sudden noises like a barking dog or a clanking weight plate. The bass on the AirPods 4 will always feel a little thinner because the sound waves are literally escaping out the sides of your ear. Controls and interactivity. Touch controls are terrible when you are sweating. Anyone who has ever tried to skip a song with wet hands knows the frustration of tapping a plastic stem 3 times, only to have the earbud pause, beep, and do the exact wrong thing. The Powerbeats Pro 2 respect the reality of physical exertion. They give you real, tactile controls. You get a physical multifunction button and a dedicated volume rocker on every single earbud. You can reach up with chalky hands, wearing thick winter gloves, or while sprinting, and you will feel the satisfying click of a mechanical button. You know exactly what you just pressed. The AirPods 4 want you to live in a future where physical buttons are obsolete. They rely on a force sensor built into the stem. You have to squeeze the stem to play, pause, or skip tracks. It works perfectly when you are sitting still and your hands are clean. But they also offer something the Beats do not. Siri interactions allow you to answer or decline phone calls just by nodding or shaking your head. If you're walking down the street carrying bags of groceries and a call comes in, you just nod your head yes to answer it. It feels a bit like telepathy. It is highly convenient, but it strictly caters to a lifestyle of leisure and multitasking rather than pure athletic focus. Fitness and health tracking. This is where the divergence becomes impossible to ignore. The Powerbeats Pro 2 are pieces of medical-grade fitness equipment masquerading as headphones. They feature built-in optical heart rate sensors. Tiny green lights inside the earbuds pulse against your skin to measure your blood flow, sending real-time heart rate data directly to your phone or fitness apps. The ear is actually an incredibly accurate place to measure a pulse because it moves far less than your wrist does when you're lifting weights or gripping a bicycle handle. The AirPods Pro offer absolutely nothing in this department. They do not track your heart rate. They do not track your workouts. They play audio and they take phone calls. If you want biometric data while wearing AirPods, you are expected to go buy an Apple Watch. The Powerbeats Pro 2 respect the athlete who wants to track their zones without strapping a computer to their wrist. Battery life and charging. Battery anxiety is a real thing, and the Powerbeats Pro 2 eliminate it entirely. They offer an astonishing 10 hours of continuous playback on a single charge. You could fly across an entire ocean, and these earbuds would not die. When you factor in the charging case, you get up to 45 hours of total listening time. You could easily go a month without plugging the case into a wall. However, that massive battery requires physical space. The Powerbeats case is large. It is undeniably bulky. It will create an awkward bulge in your pocket, and you will likely end up throwing it into a backpack or a gym bag instead. The AirPods Pro are designed for the daily commuter who never strays too far from a charger. They give you about 5 hours of listening time on a single charge, and that drops to 4 hours if you leave the noise cancellation turned on. The total battery life with the case sits at around 30 hours. But the trade-off is portability. The AirPods 4 charging case is tiny. It slips into the coin pocket of your jeans, and you instantly forget it is there. Furthermore, the case for the ANC model has a built-in speaker that chimes when you lose it, making it incredibly easy to find using your phone. The Powerbeats case lacks this speaker, meaning you have to rely on the earbuds themselves to make a sound when they are lost in the couch cushions. Ecosystem compatibility. Here is a strange truth about Apple. They love creating walled gardens, but they let Beats roam free. The AirPods 4 are heavily optimized for people who own an iPhone, a Mac, and an iPad. They switch magically between your screens. They sync up with your iCloud. But the moment you try to connect them to an Android phone, they become dumb Bluetooth earbuds. You lose the spatial audio, the head tracking, and the easy customization. The Powerbeats Pro 2 are diplomats. They offer that exact same magical pairing and device switching if you're deep inside the Apple ecosystem. But if you use an Android phone, Beats provides a dedicated app that unlocks the exact same premium features. Android users get the one-touch pairing, the customizable button controls, and full access to the heart rate monitoring data. The Powerbeats do not punish you for refusing to buy an iPhone. Bottom line, choosing between these two comes down to brutal honesty about how you spend your days. If your life involves a commute, an office desk, running errands, and casual walks, the AirPods were the most effortless audio device you can buy. They weigh nothing. They fit in any pocket. The head-nodding gestures are genuinely useful, and the open-ear noise cancellation is a technical marvel. They are built for convenience above all else. If you lift heavy, run far, sweat profusely, or care deeply about having a tight bass response, the Powerbeats Pro 2 are the superior machine. The physical buttons will not fail you when your hands are wet. The massive 45-hour battery will outlast your longest training week. The ear hooks ensure they will never hit the pavement. They are not built for convenience. They are built for work.